100 TV, and today I'm here with a special guest, somebody I know very, very well. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually allow her to introduce herself without further ado. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself to the world, beautiful lady?
Yes, hi, my name is April Willers, and I am the 100 TV's host wife.
I am the 100 TV. No, I'm just playing. Um, that's what's up. Is it? I'm going straight into it. I'm going straight into the TikTok questions. We're not gonna waste time on this one.
All right.
Um, if they seen the, I guess the topic that's at hand, it says it's a prisoner's wife, a true story. Um, I'll just give a little bit of it. We met in 2017, and I was finishing. I was sentenced to 19 years, but I ended up only doing 16 years, 11 months. Um, but we ended up getting married in 2019, and that was actually 7 months, give or take some days before I came home. Is that the math? Is that the correct math?
That's correct.
All right, want to make sure the timeline's good. All right. So boom, and I knew it was, but um, going straight into it, I'm just gonna go into the TikTok questions because I did a post where it showed me walking out the prison. You were talking in the background. There were a lot of good comments, some bad comments. You're always gonna have trolls. It's just part of being on social media, whatever. Um, but I want to focus on some of the good questions that were asked, because a lot of times women that are in your situation, that are in relationships with guys that are incarcerated, they don't have a voice. But there's a whole bunch of these relationships, like everywhere. It's not even. It's actually quite common. Um, so yeah, we're just gonna get into it. So I'm gonna ask you this first question straight off the bat: would you do it again?
Yes, I would do it again for you. Only you, though. Nobody else.
I thought you was gonna say no. I ain't gonna lie. No, but it's been, because it's been real, right?
Yeah.
It's been ups, it's been downs, it's been in betweens. Just like any couple, we've had our struggles, we've had our successes. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I guess I want to ask the first question is the first real question. Though I'm glad to know you do it again. That makes me feel special. Um, what caused you to even look my way? What caused you to even think about dealing with somebody that was incarcerated?
I was actually just thinking about this in the kitchen. So, one of the things that drew me to you was the fact that I found out that you were the facilitator of some of the events that were going on through a friend of mine who actually had a husband she was married to. Well, later on, got married to. They were doing some counseling sessions. They were doing some couples sessions and all type of things at the prison. And I was just like, well, wow, okay, this guy must be, he must be doing stuff. And it's good to hear about stuff like that because I've never heard about it personally. So that was one of the first things, but initially, no. I had already knew about my husband, or kind of in a roundabout way knew who he was a year prior, and I just told her I wasn't going to entertain it, but eventually we're here and it's 2022.
And I had knew about you, and shout out to those two, man. Bam and Job, man, because I had knew about you too. They were planting the seeds. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really, I didn't take it any mind because my
Right.
situation, I was locked up. But I had heard about you, and now I know why I had heard about you. So you heard about some of the things I was doing in prison, which was kind of different, doing the program, stuff like that, public speaking. That got me gave me a chance. Um, we started talking, right? We started talking on the phone. I'm go, in the different parts of what was going on, but we started talking on the phone. You go from not talking to a guy in prison to this is the only way you can communicate with him. And from what I could tell, you wanted to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, was that a good thing? Was it did you feel fulfilled just through conversation, or was there definitely places where you didn't? Were you glad that it was just conversation? Where like what was your whole thought process? Because in a lot of situations when got one person's locked up, that's all they have a lot of times is phones. They might not be able to have visits every month. They might not live close enough to the prison, whatever's going on. Like, how was that part, that portion, especially as we were first getting to know each other too?
So initially, not drawing the story out too long, but we were just communicating via email. And once we stopped communicating via email, it was pretty much ongoing. But I had a personal situation come up in my life, and I kind of needed some advice. It was refreshing to, hear from him. It was refreshing to communicate and all that. So I felt like he would, be kind of non-biased with a really important decision that I had to make. But in order to continue the communication, I was going to have to start talking to him on the phone because it was, basically, a really, tough situation going on. And that was the only way we were going to really be able to communicate at that time. I did not want to stop communication. So I just suggested, let's just talk on the phone. And that's how it happened. But once we started talking, that was it. Like, that was it. That was the go-to.
So conversation was good.
Mm-hmm.
Back when we used to, when you first the honeymoon phase, you talk, talk, talk. We've been married 3 years now. We still talk, but man, we be tired. We, whatever it is. But I remember that portion, that part of the relationship was fresh. We were just eager to get to know each other, all that. Um, you were a connection to the outside world, and then you were somebody that you could teach me, which I appreciated. So I was always trying to give you something that I felt like you weren't getting out there anytime we spoke when we were having good conversations, because we had bad conversations. You know what I'm saying? Just being honest. We had arguments and stuff like that. I want to talk about like our situation was different because we met through friends. We never seen each other. First time you're coming to see me, you want to talk about that whole visitation, that whole experience, because it was crazy.
Well, I basically I won't say just popped up. We had planned the initial first visit. We really weren't seeing eye to eye at the time, but I decided to still come anyway. And I didn't know if he was gonna be there. Just keeping it a buck. But I went anyway. I didn't care. And I felt like, if I came, he's gonna come and see me. He has to. So, and needless to say, like our first initial meeting and greeting, it was just so. I was very nervous, very shy. It was our first time, really meeting face to face. As two individuals. A lot of times, seeing eye to eye and sometimes not, agreeing on something. And we were really, really building a friendship because we were just that open. Really just trying to dive into the friendship. So I didn't really care about, whether or not, we weren't basically on the same page at that time. I knew I had took the time off. I was coming and I came, and it was just kind of like fireworks, I feel like. And it was a relief for both of us too. I think it was something that we both needed,
My
especially.
yeah, my anxiety's always up, and when my anxiety's up, it makes me want to like sometimes just be like, I don't want to deal with this. It's like a self defense mechanism that I don't like. Working on that. Um, I like take me out the equation because this
Mm,
is a question that was asked. coming into a prison for visitation, like what was the procedure as you coming into a prison as a civilian? Was it awkward? Was it all right? You know what I'm saying? And then how was visit for you, coming at that time, seeing somebody that you had love for, um, having to leave behind, people just want to know how you felt in those moments.
Well, first let me start by I have been going to visit individuals in prison since I was about 4 years old. Um, my biological father, um, who is not a big part of my life, but as a child, I did go visit him in prison. So I was not like, it wasn't foreign to me, I guess. It was really a part of everyday life. I'm from Detroit. So, it's one of those things. You got uncles in prison, cousins in prison, like somebody doing time, at all times. So that part of it was not really foreign to me. But as we began to build the relationship, it did make me value the relationship a little bit more. I felt like, because in those moments of being able to connect, with limited, anything, it's not just the entering the prison facility itself. Yes, you have to strip down, you can't wear certain clothing. So you really can't kind of be yourself, obviously. Um, and you feel like, it's a cold feeling when you walk in. You know what I mean? You feel like, when they have to count, it's like it just doesn't feel right. It
Remember
feels
when I had to wear the jumpers, the backward jumpers?
yeah, yeah. Like that was a
Like,
it was just it one time I feel like only one time did I feel violated, through a frisk. And that has never happened to me before. I did feel like it was a female officer. She was ethnic like us, of color, woman of color. Um, and I just felt like she was doing the most,
mm,
where it had not happened to me like that I could remember as a child, as an adult. And I felt a little bit like, I don't know if he maybe got a target on his back and they see my name, so it's a lot that I feel about all of that in prison. Like when the person you are with or the person that you're connecting with behind those walls, if they are on a certain radar or a certain person's radar, you feel the effects of that too. Rather, it doesn't matter who they are. If they have offended somebody, if it's a guard that don't like them, like you gonna feel it, you gonna know.
we got targeted a few times, so our visits got cut short. I remember walking into certain visits, like telling you, like, man, here we go. And in
Right.
certain times I'd be like, oh, we good.
Yeah.
You know.
They let
Um, and I was gonna say, for me, like, knowing that you were going through that, the struggle aspect, the struggle portion, um, that's always, you know what I'm saying, that's always giving me something to look back on. I think, like, it's good to go through something. It's unfortunate we had to go through that. But when all said and done, we survived a situation, a scenario that's designed to destroy, you know. Um, and then I would say, like, for me, even as a man, don't get me wrong, you know, I seen you, I was like, yeah. But mentally, because I'm a mental person, and communications, being able to communicate, talk about different things, and that was really important to me. And I had been starving for that. You know what I'm saying? So that was good for me. But I just wanted to speak on my little perspective on that. Get my 2 cents. Um, so visitations sometimes were awkward.
Yeah.
Um, you know, we were, I think, what we experienced, 3 different visitation rooms or 2 different visitation rooms. And I think we did video visits at the end, I think. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't remember. But like, was that good enough for you? Like, how did you feel around the holidays? How did you feel in certain moments when you seen um your homegirl that was with her man, or those type of situations? What gave you the strength to be like, man, I'm gonna hold on?
Well, this is definitely um the only unique experience I've ever had like this in my life. Let me start by saying that. Secondly, just everyday, life, everything is different about it. Um, from the visits, first of all, you're doing something, you're doing time out of state. That's like 9 hour drive, 2.5 hour flight. Even to do a visit, you got to rent a car, or you can, drive your car, or you got to catch a flight, then get another car. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's strenuous, so
Yeah,
to, even navigate just through that, and you don't know the next time you're going to be able to spend time or see this individual, and you long for the person, it's difficult. um Having to, and I really don't like to have my phone. I have to have my phone because of business. But if I had an option, like, I wouldn't have no phone. I have a behavior or something. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
seriously, like, I'm a people person. I'm more of in your face type of person. Like, I want to enjoy your company. So I just feel like all of those moments when we were apart, having to, show up, as a one person, but you may say, or tell somebody, a coworker, yeah, you are, you're not single, you actually are in a committed relationship, so that's why you may not be hanging out like that, or whatever. It's just everyday life. The people closest to you, your friends, your family. I didn't share it with too many people at all, so having to keep something like this to myself as the relationship is developing over, periods of time, at this point, years. um that's something very, very delicate, and something really big to conceal, as an individual. And I'm a people person. I'm always around I love my family. If I'm not around them, I talk to them a lot. I have people that I'm very close with, and just having to basically keep things to yourself. Not being able to, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. It's not like I got a plus one and I can roll up and we can go to a wedding together, or, you
Yeah.
know, a lot. It's a lot.
Any awkward moments? You don't have to, what I'm saying, go too much into it or say anybody's name or anything, but you just say yes or no. Any awkward moments with like friends or loved ones, family members, when you introduced me, as a thought, like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
dealing with it.
Um, my mom, um, aunts, um, I don't know, just people. I mean, and it's not, it's like once you get any type of negativity about the situation, you're not going to want to tell anybody.
Right.
And that's what basically shut me down, period. It's not like you can, post about you and Bay, or, you and your boo. I'm not posting no pictures, but clearly I'm not single. So,
Right.
and we're in a world where social media is everything. So how could she possibly be in a relationship if she just came to this Christmas party and he's not here, or it's another event here? Okay, she's showing up by herself, but she always stepping away to talk or get the phone call, or you know what I mean? Even the phone ringing, and me not being able to say hello and really just talk. It's a hello and it's a, the recording. So if you're somewhere
Yeah.
dead silent and you answer the phone, you can hear it, and
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that it's anybody's business, but it's like it's always looming. It's always there. Like you can't escape it. So it's not just the person that's behind the wall, it's the person out here too. They
Yeah.
suffer in silence.
I definitely understand that. Me ask you, so I mean, awkward moments, definitely not easy. Um, what was the hardest moment you went through while I was locked up, while we were together? Or what was the hardest moment for you?
Yeah, probably when I was in a hospital.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Probably when I was in a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to worry. And you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. It's
Yeah, I remember being frustrated because I mean, I was locked up and I couldn't do
yeah,
anything. I couldn't do anything. All I could do was call on the phone and try to tell you encouraging words, and man, in moments like that, I mean, for me, some people be like, "Oh, that's everything." For me, I'd be like, "Yeah, it's
yeah,
only so much."
yeah.
Um, so let's talk about like some of the good things because it's bad. As tough as a situation, as bad as the situation that it was
Mm-hmm.
endured. Um, what were some good moments or some good things that you felt like you gained or we gained from going through that situation, being locked up?
You got your barber's license?
Man.
For me, that was big because even though my husband, he's a licensed barber, it's not something that he's just behind a chair and that's what he wants to do. He literally, I know he did it just for me. Like I know he did. So that was like a big deal to me and for me. Like that's just what's up. That
Hey, I was trying to get you, so whatever I had to do. But I was crying. I was crying the whole way through because
oh God.
we went through. Man, I went through everything to get my
Yeah,
barber license.
yeah. We thought you weren't gonna be able to take state board. It was crazy.
I thought you were gonna say the toughest moment though. To go back to that
Uh-huh.
was our wedding day. Even though it was a good moment, I'm thinking about when you drove away from the prison because I couldn't go with you. We had a limited visitation.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the hardest days and one of the most beautiful days of my life. So I could not just, it wasn't like it was just a tragedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, no, yeah, but
but it was definitely, it was hard. So
it was hard for me.
before, and this happened, I'm trying to think. On the way, maybe it was on the way to getting married, on the way to the prison. I think I had to stop by a Dollar General or something like that. It was either before I went or it was right after I left. I don't remember. And somebody was like, "Oh my gosh, like you look so beautiful," like
Mm.
like basically like what's the special occasion? And I was like, I'm getting married today. And she was like, "Oh, that's beautiful," and blah blah blah. Well, like, but I know that had to be odd because it's a Dollar General in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around there but farms and prisons. You know what I mean?
And
And
Caucasian people.
and
Not
obviously,
that we love Caucasian people, but
I'm a woman of color, so I don't
uh,
know there. And it was just, I don't know, I felt some type of way. It's kind of took something away from me, and definitely driving away from the prison the day we got married, it was definitely yeah, it was a day that hit different. It did.
yeah, I felt. it was a great day, but I felt less than because all I could do was I couldn't leave with you. No honeymoon. All I could do was rush to the phone so I could call you. You,
Yeah.
you were with my mom afterwards, you know what I'm saying? But man, but I know like the week before we got married, we went through a little turbulence,
Definitely.
just a little bit. Um, we talked about targeting. You feel like they target? You feel like they try to stop our marriage, like us getting married, or you think it was just some random stuff?
Without a doubt. You done pissed them people off. Helping too many people. You know, watch some of the other videos, you'll know. He was really an advocate behind those walls. So, you helping too many people, they're gonna sabotage. They're gonna sabotage you. They tried to ship him one day before we got married. One day, like literally, I'm either on my way to, VA, or I'm like literally en route to go
That's
get me.
crazy. That was
Yeah.
definitely crazy. But they didn't ship me until 2 days after we got married. They got me up off there. Um, so let's just go. Let's just fast forward. I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
My situations may be different or the same as somebody that's watching this. Our situation may be the same or different, but in my case, I almost did 2 decades behind the wall. Um, I came home. You seen somebody that was confident behind bars, but when I came home, you seen somebody that was nervous, scared at moments, still at times now, you know what I'm saying, getting used to the world. I didn't even know how to drive. I didn't know how to order my food at McDonald's that morning. I still don't know how to do some things. I'm learning. But I mean, you're happy to have me home, but for the woman who is married or with the guy that just came home from prison, what are some things that they need to know? You can talk directly to them. I'm gonna just sit here and be quiet.
Oh my God. So, um, first of all, you have to prepare yourself as a woman to be patient, to be kind, to be gracious, give grace. Because you're gonna need to have some patience. It's like reteaching all over again. And fortunately for me, I'm a teacher. So I feel like I'm not gonna say it was easy for me because we had our challenges, but I felt I feel like doing it comes just naturally to me to just do. So it's kind of like it's okay. Um, but very tedious, having to show him, how to use the phone. Having to show him, teach him how to drive and push him out there to just go ahead and drive, just our
Yeah.
lives. Our lives never stopped. When he came home, it just our lives never stopped. So we're literally going to the DMV day one, going to get the license. Got to go to, the tag office, to get a permit to drive with no license plate.
Yeah.
With a felon that just got out of, or what they call, claim to be a felon, just got out 2 days prior, and we got to drive with no license all the way down south. Several.
Hey, so look, let me ask you this, right?
Yeah.
First day home, I'm gonna back you up real quick. First day home, because people were asking, there's a lot of comments on the video of me coming home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what the views were at, but they were up there. And shout out to everybody that supports the content, even the trolls, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody that's following and subscribing, all that on any of the platforms. Um, but that day,
Mm-hmm.
like feelings, thoughts, was it like, oh shit, excuse my language, but oh, I married a dude that just came home from prison, or was there relief, or what was it? In the midst of all that, having to teach me how to do everything, including tie my shoes, because I forgot how to be free. I forgot how to live in society. So I'm trying to soak it all in. You can see me kind of still like a deer in the headlights, whatever. But that day, how did you feel?
That day I was tired because I couldn't sleep. I really had been up for days. Like I mean,
Me too, though.
I had butterflies. It was that last phone call, knowing that that was gonna be the last phone call, even though I knew you was gonna try to call at least once. Because that's just how you are. Um, it was just
I
so
was nervous.
just going through my mind and just riding on the way there, and it's just being like, dang, this is the day, like he's coming home, like this, he's really coming home today. It was right after my birthday, so I felt like I was still holding on to that part. I feel like, oh my God, I finally get my honeymoon. Um, Obviously, I will tell the world I was celibate, you know, the whole time that we were together, and since the moment I met him. Um, and kept myself for him. So it was relief. It was everything, you know, it was, I get to hold you as long as I want to, you know, I get to hug you as long as I want to. It's, this is really happening. Like, yeah, like it's on and popping. Let's go.
So, I'm jumping around to different parts. I'm home now. Boom, we get down to Georgia. Um, you're married to the guy that came home from prison. You heard different stories. Heard blah blah blah. As I started to venture out in the world and I'm working all this, did you have concerns? Did you think, what I'm saying? Like, what were your thoughts as I started to gain my independence? Because there was a while where I wouldn't even really leave the house without you.
Yeah, it was. I was always nervous still because I just felt like, you know, I just knew that there was going to be questions. It was just always questions about all kind of things. Like it was, everything was just so new. So I just kind of felt like, I don't know, like I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. I just, everything was just, it was just different. And not even in a negative sense,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I can't really explain it.
So I'm trying to think of other questions. Oh, question: any awkward moments when I came home? Like we're at any moments where we're at a party or we're in front of friends, family, where we're having conversation and maybe I don't know. My conversation was I gave up the fact I didn't know something, or along the lines of that.
Yeah. I can give an example. Even though when we had the real prison talk, you know, you'd be like, it'd be simple stuff like www.facebook.com. It'd be like at Facebook. We used to say that all the time. Like stuff
Hey,
like that. I just be like, what you mean at face? Just on Facebook. Like little stuff like that. Like
I still don't know.
and you say stuff like that, or you know, we could just be around people and you're just very, you know, you're introverted unless you really know somebody. So I'm not going to say like it's noticeable, but you know, when people see you and we're out, like how people have asked you to be a security guard, you know what I mean, or something, like numerous times, like people
Man,
see us and you know, we move different because they see you and that's what they see. So
I be chilling. People are crazy, man. People, I don't know what people be on, but um, like explain some of the difficult moments that we've had, in your perspective, as far as what I'm saying, me coming home, us getting to know each other really on this side of things, because we had never lived with each other, we had never dated, we never got to experience each other. We went from me being behind the wall straight into it.
yeah, just living with somebody else again, you know, in life, period. And then being a man and my husband, and he has to learn how to do stuff all over again. So it's kind of like you can't just ask him to do something. A lot of times you're either gonna have to do it yourself or you're gonna have to explain it. And if you explained it once, you're gonna have to keep explaining it, multiple times. Like, it's just ongoing. It's just always something. So it could have been, a lot more responsibility, but I thank God that, we got Bella. So I think that helped smooth the relationship just initially in the beginning. When we get Bella in February?
Yeah, fairly quick.
Yeah, so we got a dog, and it was basically supposed to aid, Chris in, basically being emotional support. So that for me, that helped a lot, because I still, have to go to my day to day. I think we weren't even off, but I might have had like maybe one day off of work or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came back. We had electrical problems in the house. All the money, Chris had saved.
Over with. Nah, that was day one.
Yeah, that was day one.
We had a flat tire in the van when we got here, and the circuit breaker was blown. It was over with. I
Yeah.
got a question up here from prominent to God MP. I know it's MP. We gotta have you up here too, brother. He said, "Life, how was your adjustment with your wife after 19 years?" And I did 16 years, 11 months. I was sentenced to 19 though. I didn't do it all though. Man, I'm still adjusting, but I feel like if you're in a real marriage, it's always going to be evolving. If it's always evolving, then you're always going to be adjusting. Because if you're growing, then it's moving. And if you're standing still, then it's stagnant. I said a whole bunch of nothing, but I said a whole bunch of everything at the same time. It's day by day, because one thing I had to learn was she's growing. So I can't necessarily look at her like, today or tomorrow how I look at her today. Um, it's just a process, getting better at listening. Um, and for me, I'm trying to work on just like softening the way I communicate. Um, not always being assertive, because being in an environment for so long, I found like when we work together, sometimes I'll be directing, and there's different ways you can say things. So it's like I don't want to get into that mode. So it's just adjusting, you know what I'm saying? Doing a lot of self adjustment more than having to adjust to her, because she's always going to change. She has. I feel like I've seen 3 different versions of her since I've been home. Um, you know, he said, "Trust me, I know." And that's really it, man. Just keep adjusting. That's the jewel for real. If you're trying to make it work. So I got another question for you, April. Uh, what are the pros and the cons of being married to a guy, ex-felon, somebody that's got a record? What are some of the pros and cons? No pun intended, because I said pros and cons. Never mind. Anyways.
So the pros. Oh man, you with somebody strong, they fine, they didn't age because they behind the wall.
Oh no, I
Um,
aged.
well, you've been out here a little bit, so
Yeah.
with life. Um, what else? The fact that he's an introvert, which means I know, like, for a shadow of a doubt, he's not just gonna be in people's faces at all. So that's a pro. I just think the commitment, dedication, the fact that you're kind of like always one way, routine guy, it's kind of easy to figure out. Like, it's easy to buy gifts for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to do something nice for you, because I kind of know just how you are, because it doesn't change much. just only improves. So those are some pros. Cons, oh my God, even to this day, something happened earlier today. The doors. So like all the doors have to be closed.
Oh yeah,
Um,
certain things. Yeah, you could talk about certain things that you feel like I brought back from prison too.
yeah,
People might relate to that
this
100%.
is definitely something I feel like he definitely brought back from prison, like with the doors. So checking in the doors, the ends of the night, asking me, did you lock the door? Like all the
I'm
doors
gonna
got.
check. Oh, I'm gonna check the doors because we live in Atlanta,
Yeah, but the way
and it's
like I used to check the doors several times.
I do. I walk the house at night, but I
Yeah.
don't know. A lot of men I feel like walk the house though. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, let's see. I don't know. Outside of that, because you're different. It's not like when you came home, but I feel like sometimes it's a little paranoia of what may just like pop off. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like just expecting something negative to happen. When a lot of stuff is just everybody's kind of already used to it and conditioned, like you already know something gonna happen. It's just what it is. But I feel like it's kind of amplified, because you're not used to the same things, over and over again. Um,
man.
even I feel like with just kind of inputting too much information, like when you're like freshly out or freshly released, even with that, because I feel like sometimes you like overload yourself and it's just, I don't know, but it's like you're hungry for it because you might have missed out on a lot. So it causes you to obsess over certain things.
Yeah,
But I feel like it's not always a negative thing, even with that. But I just feel like, yeah, that might be a con because everybody's not going to be able to adapt to somebody that trying to readjust. Like it's it's different. It's different.
right. Um, pros and cons. Again, no pun intended. What like
Extra.
what would you tell yourself like if you could go back to the first time we spoke? What advice would you give yourself going into the relationship? The marriage now, excuse me. But the relationship then.
Um, I believe that I would tell myself just to have a little bit more mental preparation. Um, Although I was like relieved when you got home, I feel like I wasn't mentally prepared for everything that I would have had to, adjust to because it's kind of like two people having to adjust. You adjusting to not only to the outside world, but to me,
Yeah.
just society period as a whole, like so many different elements. I wasn't prepared for that. I wasn't feel like I wasn't prepared for a lot of it because we didn't get to date where you got to come over for some time and I see how you are in the evenings or go out to dinner, sit up, watch TV. Just it's just certain things that you really don't know how things are going to play out until you're actually in the situation or it actually plays out or just us going to Six Flags the first time or going skating the first time. It's like you just don't know because you've never had experiences with this person on the outside. You had conversations about things, but to
Right.
experience it is something totally different.
Totally different. We got a comment. You want to read the comment or you want me to read the comment?
Let's see, I can read it. This is from Clarice Marlin. This is good to hear. Thank you. I've got 8 years left on a person who, in total, would have been away 30 years. All right. So I would just encourage you if you are with the person, you have committed yourself to the person, stay with that person, stay committed. It did work out for me. I can't speak for everybody, Everybody's situation is different. I knew that my husband was a go-getter because he always had a job. And not only did he always have a job while he was on the inside, he had one of the highest paying jobs on the inside. So for me, it just showed, dedication, determination, literally from, a hustler, literally turned, facilitator, leader, elder, influencer, business owner, multiple trades, college, from just somebody that was just going in, a kid at 19, to have accomplished all of these things and made all these connections and, done, countless, other things. But at the end of the day, I feel like, his heart was revealed to me, before we got married. So, with that, I was able to, basically have something to build on and build with. You know, it really helped us, in the future. So I would just encourage you, continue to support your loved one, continue to stay committed. There were certain things that my husband did, towards the end of the bid, that just kind of prepared him, things I would say to him to encourage him, and just things that he would do just to mentally prepare his self, for being behind those walls before it's just like a shock. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden I'm here and you don't know what to do. Y'all ain't got no plan. Y'all don't know how y'all doing, XYZ. What's gonna happen in that first week? Is there a certain number of people he needs to see? Does he have children? Does he not? You know what I mean? Are there family, other relatives that, need to see him? Like, all of that needs to be just planned. You can't just think like your loved one is just gonna come home after all of these years and it's just going to just be you. That was something I kind of had to prepare myself for as well. I was not the person to pick him up, yet I was his wife. But I still had, understanding in my heart. Of course his mom wants to be there. Of course his cousin wants to be there. Of course his, eldest uncle wants to be there. So I had to, I feel like in retrospect, respect everybody's love for him and be willing to share that day with them as well, because it wasn't just myself attached to him or the situation. Other people have been waiting for years. I came at the end of Chris's bid, and I have to, respect that. So these are things that need to be discussed way beforehand, like not at the last minute, not, when you running into situations because you guys are home now and you don't know what the heck is, about to pop up or who's about to pop out, like all of that, and I'm also grateful, we got time to do that, and everybody was pretty happy, I think.
I wanted to say this too. Um, One of the things that you did that may help in your relationship, your situation with him having 8 years, and one of the things that you did, April, was you used to try to include me on conversation that was about the outside. You always try to direct my focus to the outside. So I would say anytime you got the opportunity to involve him on a decision, depending on where you hold him in your life, you know what I'm saying? I know April, is our relationship progressed, she would, nah, for real. You kind of allow me to help make a decision early. I just realized that. But that helped. Even if my input was taken, I know you took my input shit, but you out here, you was in the real world, so I couldn't see what was going on. But I appreciated that. Um, so yeah, just include them on real conversation. Try to educate them, so you can keep the conversation fresh. If you got the opportunity to take 5 minutes to learn something new that you can teach him, then the better the both of you guys will be. You know what I'm saying? It'll be something you guys can share, grow. You can challenge him to do the same. There's just different things that you can do, but you do have to be creative. You do have to be patient. You got to explain to him to be patient,
Yeah.
in certain moments, because certain things happen, in the course of a day. So Lord knows what can happen in months or years. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that's going to be, a negative situation or a good situation, but you guys just want to continue to strengthen your bond no matter what. Um, be selective if you can with who you bring your relationship to, because the wrong voice can kind of, you know what I'm saying, wear you down and, bog you a little bit. Um, Even on my end, it was weird from me being on the inside. I had to be careful with who I told people I was in a relationship with, because guys was haters. They didn't like the fact that I can, I would get on the phone and I call somebody that loved me. So it's both ways. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Just get him to focus on the outside. Even if he's got 8 years, they can change the law tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? If there's ways that he can get back in the law library, anything like that as well, encourage him to do that. Then maybe he can get home to you sooner. That's my little 2 cents. Oh, he's getting ready. Yeah, he's getting scared about the release being so much has changed.
You have to encourage, like, anything. I know, and I'll let Chris answer, but I just wanted to say, like, Chris was any class, that came up, any access to computer, any access to office, any access to anything in the outside world. I remember y'all did like an emoji class, right? Somebody who did
Yeah, Banks is the one that taught that.
Yeah. So things like that. I was like an emoji class, but I thought it was dope because I hadn't thought about it. He don't know what the heck a meme is or emoji, none of these things. He don't know what an SMH is, or none of that.
None of that.
All the little intricate, I think, parts of our lives that we probably don't notice because we're just so used to doing them, are going to be the most tedious for these type of people who are coming from behind the wall, whether it's women or men, with that type of time. Even if it's 2 years, it makes a difference, let alone anybody that has longer than a 5-year period. I feel like, just in my opinion. So yes, they're just gonna have to be mentally prepared. We're learning as things, progress. Always share anything that's new, anything that's trending, anything that's, anything with technology. Me and Chris were, talking about cryptocurrency. That was something that I was talking to him about, keeping his mind focused. Hey, you might want to think about Bitcoin, or, it was just different that, I was like, can you do this research? Because I knew he had a sponge. I was like, look, if you can find anything in there about this, that's something to keep him, motivated, because I knew that this was something that was going to interest him.
And it gave me value as a man, which in that situation, a real man is going to fight to have value in his relationship. And he knows he's only got but so much, you know what I'm saying, while he's incarcerated. So when you used to tell me to research stuff and stuff like that, I used to take pride in that. Even though I had no way to research stuff at times, because the library, all the books were from 1982, but it was still fun. It was okay. Yeah. It was yeah. I used to come with information from 1994 like it was brand new. Oh, this is nice. This is some good information. Thank you for making me feel special in those moments, by the way. No, and I would say I just, feed him information which is going to take away from his anxiety. Show him as much as you can through, through his mind, through your words, anything you can possibly email him, articles, stuff like that, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is going to help.
And we
Because
started a business too.
yeah, we started a business.
It was technically, it was Chris's first business. And it was all him, and I just let him, direct everything. It was actually a t-shirt business. And for us, it was a great team building project, business skill. We invested very little, especially considered, all things considered nowadays, with our newest project. But yeah, we did something together. It was something to cultivate his mind, the way that the business and entity was, set up. He already had knowledge of that. He was already a part of a nonprofit. So things like this, you know, that keep your mind occupied. And I think when you can do it together, it kind of helps, you know, you with the bond, it helps him with the time, you know. And as we got closer to that point, we also stopped, communicating about just anything that did not matter. So in those moments where we can really focus on things, really keep our mind focused on, anything that was positive, I think, that helps, kind of make the time just, I guess, a little bit, less, drastic.
Right. Well, we're getting ready to come to a close. I got a few more questions, not too many. We're gonna fast forward all the way. We just celebrated our 3-year anniversary. Um, Never would have made it. No, woo, no. Man, it's good though. You know what I'm saying? It's good. Nothing's perfect. But good things, great things are defined, great things are refined. And I feel like third year, we're starting to grow more and more. You know what I'm saying? We might have plateaued out a little bit because we went through some things, you know what I'm saying? Some personal, some health issues, stuff like that. Stuff that happens in life. But we back. Boom. We open a business. You kind of just spoke about that. Um, you got a crazy idea. You not the crazy idea isn't you opening a cosmetology school. That's the great idea. That's the smart idea. The crazy idea was you decided to make me a principal. Um, and that's just a random because somebody had literally asked that question because I had did a post from the school on TikTok when I was behind the desk, and then I explained on the live, your dream, but hey, I'm the principal. Don't be scared. Everything's gonna be okay. No, but and I'm grateful for the opportunity. I take pride in it. Things shift, things change, all that. We're growing, we're evolving. It's an exciting season. But man, I know I was like, what am I doing here? What does it take? What did it take for you to even what was that about? Why would you even do that? Let me just ask, I'm not even gonna ask you how they act. Let me ask it, why would you do that to me? No.
Because
No.
I need you to be able to, kind of facilitate things. See, that's that word, facilitate again. Give the directives, just make sure things are structured. Chris is a really structured guy, military background, great influencer, just great at just giving directives. So who better than to do that? My heart, my passion is to help people and be a teacher. So it
Yeah.
fits together.
Yeah, it's kind of dope. And I just, we opened a school, cosmetology school, in Tucker, GA. We're definitely proud of it. You see the information, www.lastinglayersofbeauty.com. That's a shameless plug. There ain't nothing shame in that though. We're proud of what we're doing. We got 100% graduation rate. We're different. And I think we're different because you came up through a struggle. I came up through a struggle, and we're helping other people that are going through their own struggles. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to shout you out here on this podcast for creating that thing. You know what I'm saying? Having enough heart, having your dream, to manifest it, helping people, and then also, not being scared of our story. You know what I'm saying? When it came out that I was in prison, I was freaking out more than you did. You were. But then we found out everybody's got somebody, unfortunately, that's been locked up. They may have been locked up, and it's a weird common bond, but that's what brings us together a lot of times. So, salute to you for hopping up here. This is part one. We're definitely doing a part two. You have no choice. Your last name is mine. No, just playing. No, but yeah, we got, people were hopping up here with the comments. So salute to each and every one of you that hopped up here tonight,
Thank you.
interacting with the post. Anybody that's liking, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified when we're going live. Lock that in. Miss April, as I call you at school, you got anything that you like to say as we bringing this thing to a close?
Yeah. I also, part two, we'll talk about some other things, like About to Lose It, written by myself. Pseudonym is LaShawn Myers. You can find that book on Amazon. So we'll get into some of those things. But if you have any questions for us, please, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments or a DM. And again, shout out, to my wonderful husband for having me on the show. I love being here. Thanks.
Carisha says she subscribed. Appreciate you so much. We're gonna continue to bring the content. Anybody that wants to get up here and possibly be on this platform, man, don't hesitate to reach out. You can follow me on IG. That's the best way to get in contact with me. Message me there. And also see some more, different types of content. Salute to each and every one of you, man. Peace, love, and blessings to you and yours. If you're in a relationship, just remember, if you want it to last forever, then hey, you're gonna have to endure some things, ups, downs, in betweens. But if it's worth it, that's my message right there. That's all I got. Um MP, I got you, bro. My word. I appreciate you, soldier. Little bro, a side note too, man. MP most prominent, man. He came into the system. He had braces and he was a juvenile, and we was grown. And he used to run around and be crazy. Now he grown, married, his wife up there, on social media. Shout out to her doing her thing, man. A father now. So, salute to anybody that came home that was incarcerated, doing good. Last time I talked to him, man, he's store manager, I think, at Dollar General. You know what I'm saying? Growing, elevating. And that's it, man. Salute. If you got a story, man, tell it. Use your story to help others, inspire others. Don't be ashamed of it, because man, nowadays there's no reason to hide anything. We're all connected through our struggle, our adversities, the things that we try to hide. That's really what makes us common. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's a thought. That's gonna be a whole. I'm gonna get Freddie up here for that one. We get a whole panel on that one. The things that we try to hide are the things that would bring us together. Anyways, man, I'm out. Till next time. Thank you, Miss April.
It's my pleasure.
I'll see you soon, like literally in 2 seconds, because we're in the same place, just in different rooms. All right, man. Till next time, y'all. D100 TV.
Thank
We
you
out.
for having me. We out.